So we have been using the Iron Chef to engage students. We use this one activity, the example that is on the blog, for a ELA class. They are getting into the next unit about civil rights, where the students will read a book about Jackie Robinson. And so we just kind of wanted to preload them just to see how much they knew and how much they could learn from Google. The engagement level of the students was amazing. It's fun to watch because it's kind of like Breakout EDU, where you have some groups that work really well together and then other groups that do not work very well together. And so that 5 minutes just seeing how kids can adapt to their project and how far of a start they get working on those soft skills is really cool to watch. But every group in our class was engaged. We did have some groups that didn't get along, but they figured out what they needed to do, and they figured out how to split up this task. So for Iron Chef, we gave this group 20 minutes just because we were preloading them. If I was doing this at the end of a unit just to see how much they've learned, I probably would have done 10 minutes. But since this group had to kind of learn what civil rights was, we decided to give them 20. It's also smart probably to give them less time so that way they work faster and they're not like, oh, we can kind of mess around for 5 minutes and then adding more time. So that's what we did for our first group. And then we realized we really needed to do 20 minutes. So then on the second slide, you want to give students a topic. So ours is civil rights and then a secret ingredient. So for this slide, we decided the secret ingredient was a YouTube video about civil rights. So students had to keep typing, and then they also had to find an image, and they also had to put a YouTube video on their page. They could have also used a YouTube video instead of an image, but some students picked to do both of those, which was completely fine. The next secret ingredient was a GIF or a Google drawing. So students had to find a GIF or create a Google drawing based on civil rights. Students found a lot of really good GIFs with this one, so I was really impressed with what they decided to do. The third secret ingredient is bullet points. In their text right here, they had to have 3 bullet points. So students were able to use Google and search for 3 different, as they're reading, they kind of had to figure out what's the most important that I need to put on this slideshow. And then on this slide, they had to find 3 vocabulary words they did not know and define them. So some groups, every student that we had, most groups had the most amount of students in a group were 5, but most of our groups were 4 students. So every student kind of just took over a slide and added their secret ingredient into that slide. You could have the same ingredient for every slide if you wanted to. That's completely up to you. Or just telling the students, for this presentation, your secret ingredient is this. We did an intro video of Iron Chef just to help students kind of understand what Iron Chef was, because some students have never seen the TV show. And then they got to work. So then we started the timer, and every student, it seemed like the groups that were most effective, every student in that group took a slide and then they kind of talked about it as their group. And if a student finished earlier, they were able to help another student. Some groups, their strategy was everybody worked on this slide together. Then they worked on this one, and then this one. A lot of students were fighting over the GIF, who was going to do that and find that. So this one was a really popular slide. Then they had to take a group photo of their presentation, because on the last step we did a Flipgrid. So what students had to do is they had to record their video, their presentation. So they had to do a screencast of their presentation using Screencastify. And then when they were done recording, they had to upload their video to Flipgrid, so that way every student could see their presentation. And so we just went to options rather than doing a video, and we imported their Screencastify video. So we saved this to their desktop. And then the reason I had them take a group photo is because on Flipgrid, I wanted the page that they got to see was their photo with, if they wanted to use stickers or not. Again, a lot of engagement in this activity. So if you want to incorporate it in your classroom, there is a template on the blog. And if you have any more questions, do not hesitate to reach out. I have other student examples if you need to see those. And also, if you wanted to see some of the Flipgrids, let me know. All right, have a great day. Bye.